Good afternoon, Team Union. As part of our Back to Basics, I'm doing videos on some of our Weichert tools. And today's tool that I'm going to show how to do and talk about is the price trend analysis. This tool is one of the premier listing tools that will separate you from another agent. The key to the price trend analysis is knowing the house that you are looking to price for a listing, and also knowing your market area, because it's very important that the homes that you select are as similar to your target property and are as close as you can, within 1.5 miles of your target property as well. So let's get started with the basics of looking at the property, finding the price trend analysis. So I'm just going to share the screen and we will be off and running. Okay, I am in our My Weichert system, Weichert tools and resources. So what you want is the price trend analysis enhanced version. So that was the second page. So here it is, price trend analysis enhanced. This is an Excel product. There are formulas built throughout the document, the PTA. So you want to be careful when you are putting something in or deleting something, because you can delete yourself into the product not working. So you're going to start with calculation number 1. That's where you're going to start putting in information. So if you look at the bottom, you'll see calculation number 1. So you're going to put in the address of the property that you're looking to list. And I've pulled one from our Garden State MLS here in Union. So you're just filling in this top information, today's date, and the best agent is, of course, you. I'm sure you're the best agent. So what you see here, the current inventory analysis, this is going to give you the absorption rate for the town that you are pricing. So I always have the MLS open, so I can click back over in the MLS. Bear with me. Here we go. So I now want to see how many properties are available in Union. So I've got Union County, I have Union. I'm going to take off any filters that I had on, because we're not looking to filter anything out for this number. We're looking for just what is available currently. So that is 59 records. So I'm going to go back over to our price trend analysis, and I'm going to put 59 in there. You're going to see that they're also asking for average days on market. The easy way to do average days on market: back into your list from the MLS of actives. You're going to select them all. You go to view print, take off agent complete, click client CMA, and view. So we just took the 59 actives, said, let's go to client CMA and view. When you scroll to the bottom, this will give you the average list price of all 59 of them. So right now in Union, the average list price is $531 and $256. And the average days on market is to the far right. It's 55 days. So I'm going to go back and put 55 in here. So you thought you had to calculate that all by hand. No, you do not. So we have 59 listings, 55 days on market, Now we need under contract in the last 30 days. So we're going to go back to our MLS. And we are going to say, okay, I want in the last 30 days what has gone under contract. So I'm going to select in the status, under contract. I'm going to go over to under contract date. If you click in that box, minimum, we're going to go back 30 days to October 31st. You don't have to put anything in the maximum box because it cannot go past today. So we went to status, we selected under contract, we went to UC date, under contract date, and we went back 30 days. So we're going to search. That's 37 properties went under contract in the last 30 days. So we're going to go back to our Excel, PTA. We're going to put 37. We're going to click out, just click anywhere. And you can see the absorption rate for Union is 1.6. Still a very, very strong seller's market. So what do we do next? We go to calculation number 2. You look at the top, here's your name, here's the address of the target property, and here is where you're starting to fill in information. You're going to put in what closed about a year ago, what closed 6 months ago, and what is currently under contract. This is where it is, as I said in the beginning, very, very important to look at the map of where your property is and find the streets that are near. And I'm going to go in and just show you where I would look. If this is my target house or street, I'm going to go to the street map. This is how I do it. I know that there are some people who do it a little bit differently, but this has worked for me. Doesn't mean it's always the best way, right? You're going to zoom in and find the streets that are the nearest to the street that the house you are listing is on. So I would pull up all of these streets, and then what kind of house is it? If your house that you are listing is a colonial, I'm looking more to see if I can find colonials on those streets. Any that recently sold a year ago, or are currently under contract. If there are none and you have to use, say, a Cape Cod for a property, then you're going to plus and minus number of rooms, but you really want to be as specific as you can. If it's a 5-bedroom house, I'm not going to pull up a 3-bedroom that closed, because bedrooms have a dollar value attached to them. So the price trend analysis takes time to build, because you want to be very precise with this. This is what separates you from another agent who's just pulling comps from the MLS and walking into a listing appointment and saying, well, what do you want to list it at? I think it should be here. You want to have really good information. The price trend analysis prices to the future. That's why there's an algorithm built into this Excel. And you'll see when I start putting in some information. So I have pulled just a couple of sales and a couple of under contracts just to give you an idea of what to do. So here is closed 12 months ago. So I looked at the ones I pulled. When did they close? When was it listed? So this was a property that was listed in December of 2021. So I'm going to put the MLS number 3757039. The address is 2049 Balmoral. The list date, 12/28/2021. List price was $360,000. It went under contract February 2nd, 2022. And the sale price was $410,000. So now you can see that it's already said there was 36 days on the market, and this property sold 114% over list price. So I'm going to put another one in there. So this one's not far from that house, 3784 115. And that is 2057 Glass. I always loved doing price trend analysis. I think the researcher, if I can say I'm a researcher, but the researcher in me always liked kind of digging into what happened, when things happened, what sold when, you know, and how that worked out. So I always liked that part. So this was one of the things that I didn't mind sitting down to work on. And when I went in, you know, on a listing presentation and I had all my data, you know, I think that sellers do appreciate when you've done this kind of research. And they'll ask you, oh, well, why did that house sell for less? You know, what happened? And sometimes when it's a property that I had been in, I could tell them, I said, oh, well, you know, this house was missing this, yours has something better. So I'm going to put a property here in the 6-month sale. Oh, it's another property on Glass. I mean, Glass was busy. This might be a place you guys want to start prospecting, because it is a nice street. 54174. So I think the listing presentation, the price trend analysis, these are pieces that I did always love, because listings is business at the end of the day. It's fun to go out sometimes with buyers, but it's much nicer when you've got a listing and you're sitting there doing your open house and it's your listing, and then you get to meet someone else in the neighborhood who's like, yeah, I want to sell my house too. That's a good feeling. That is a really good feeling. And it happens more times than you think. So this one wasn't on the market for very long. My dates are not quite right, but I just wanted to pull some things out so that I could show you how to put it in and make sure that you get all the information. Because again, this is a very precise little system, and I have not put in information correctly and backed over stuff and had to start all over. So what you're starting to see here is they're starting to give you some information about where things were selling at, you know, a year ago and where we are about now. So now we're going to put in some under contracts. And I put my under contracts on the water cooler and I left them over there. So let's just go pull up a couple of under contracts right now, because hey, things happen, right? What do I always say? No one perfect. It happens. It happens. So let's get my under contracts. I just want to pick 3 of them. So I'm just going to randomly pick 3. Again, I would be much more precise if I were doing this for real. So I'm going to pick the first one at 2165 Morrison, and that's listed at 339. 900, and that went under contract. I'm going to look here under contract date 11/8/22. So let's go put that in. This is a tool that you can really customize. You can add your notes in here. And also, if you know, like I said, if you know about what's going on in the area, you can really talk to that homeowner. Because trust and believe me, they know when something's sold by them, but they may not know what was in the property. So I'm just going to put in a date that this was listed. We know the list price was $339,900, and it went under contract on the 20th. Okay. Now, we don't have a sale price because it hasn't sold yet. So remember, these are under contract. So you're like, oh, why doesn't it have anything there? Well, it's not going to have anything because that one's not sold. So we're going to pick another one. Let's go with this one because it's right there. When you're talking about this with a homeowner, don't be afraid to really break down some of these properties because you've been in them. This is why knowing your market is going to be so important. So this was listed at, oh, see, this one had a price reduction or a price improvement. A small one, but it still had one. It was $370,000 and they brought it down, and that's when they got their offer. So I think we're starting to see the change in the market little by little, right? Okay, so we're going to put this in, and then I'll see if I can get a good calculation for you guys that we can take a look at. So I'm going to put this one in under contract. 640. Did you know that there is probably like an average number or dollar volume for different rooms in a house? So if you had a property that had 4 bedrooms and one of the closest ones that sold maybe had 3 bedrooms, a bedroom here is roughly about $10,000, worth about $10,000. So you can add on or subtract that based on the property that you are listing or that you're referring to when you're talking to that particular client, because everything has a dollar value. So we'll put this part in. Okay, so we have 2 in there. So now we're like, okay, what do we do next? We are going to, I just have to move my toolbar a little bit. We click into the price guide itself. In the price guide, you see it has our absorption rate in there. And I know this is the page in the buyer's consultation where people are like, how am I explaining this to a client? This is plus and minus. This is supply and demand. Right now, if we are at 1.6, so we're in between here, very little supply, but buyer demand is high. So the monthly appreciation of a house right now is about 1.5%. So when you are listing a house, you're looking at that in terms of pricing. And if you're working with the buyer, you are looking to say, okay, you want to increase your offer because we're still in an appreciating market. If you had more inventory, this is where we're at a more of a neutral market. And the more months of inventory you have, it's a declining market. So when you're talking to the seller or the buyer, you're saying, okay, we're in a seller's market. 5 to 6 months of inventory is a normal market. Over that is a seller's market. And when I say market, I'm saying that if nothing new was listed It would take right now 1.5 months to sell everything that is available in Union. If we had 7 months of inventory, we start getting to, it's going to take 7 months or 8 months possibly to sell it. So don't be afraid to review this with your clients, because this is the information that they need to know. They may have had a price in their head, but when you look at where the market is trending, because again, this is coming up with future pricing, you want to be able to share with them, because you're business consultants, how you're looking to price it to get the best buyer in the shortest amount of time. So don't be afraid of this page. And I always print this out and give it to the client. Then we can go right over to the official PTA page. And here it has all the information that you put in of what's active, what's under contract, the data that you put in, closed 12 months ago, closed 6 months ago, currently under contract. And here is the future price for that house, between 367, 368. You might be able to tweak a little bit more, but if they list now, they have a better chance of going up, because you can see that we're trending still upwards. You can make changes to these grid lines that I will have to show you in a separate video, so I don't make a mistake and mess it up, but we are trending still upwards. So here, the under contracts, it's looking at the list price, and based on what has historically happened, it's saying the expected sale price is around here, and the one on Forest, the expected sale price is here. That's what I mean by future pricing. So this is a great tool to use. I'm going to stop the share. It's a great tool to use. It does take time to build it properly, because you want to be able to go in there with your best information. You want to print out the MLS sheets that you used. And when you create the leave behind for the seller, after you've gone over the listing presentation with them, you want to put this in there. But I caution you, when you're doing the listing presentation, and that will be another video, don't pull this out first, because he who brings up money first loses, because they're not going to listen to marketing after you start talking about money. So this is our price trend analysis. This is our back to basics, because everyone needs to be comfortable creating this. I think we've gotten away from it because we used RPR a lot. RPR can, in some instances, be a good tool, but when you have the time, you want to be able to show what you researched for your client. If you have questions on this after you've taken a look at the video, practice it yourself, then give me a call. And if you have a mentor, please reach out to your mentor and show them what you've done and where maybe you got stuck and you're like, I didn't understand how this came out. Let them help you with that, or let me take a look at it as well. So thank you guys so much for your attention, and back to basics. No shortcuts, guys. Bye.